king was begging the beggar for money. Hello everyone, this is Sweety and welcome back to my channel and another tale. Well, this story was kind of amusing for me because the whole setup of the story was very different. Like normally, or should I say that like many stories say us that the beggars begged to the king for money. But you know what? This story had kind of different motive where I saw the king was begging the beggar for money. You get me, right? Like this story was very peculiar to begin with, which made me to make this video here. So what was this occasion? Typically, it was a festive season and all the village people, or should I say the subjects of the kingdom, were very happy and joyous. So when it comes to a happy situation for the subjects of the kingdom, isn't it the king's responsibility to go around the village, check how his people are doing, right? So yes, that was the scene or the setup that we have to call here in the story. The king in his elephant rode majestically around the village. So the people were like very active, very joyous because they know that the king is not gonna go empty hand around the village because they are gonna get something or the other from the king for sure. So with all those anticipations and happiness, joy, or call whatever you want, and these people were so excited to stand there on his way. Even the king was equally happy to see that his subjects are willingly accepting him. Because for a king, his subjects' satisfaction is important, right? So, in midst of all these things, there is this beggar who is like super excited, like he is like 110 percentage, like 10% more than what other people are excited about. Okay, so he is like, today I'm gonna get something or the other from the king, even if it's like a gold piece. I'm gonna get it from him and gonna make a living out of it. Of course, he knew that no matter what he gets from the king, it is gonna be a valuable possession for him. So, with all this anticipation and excitement, even he took his wooden bowl and went there along with the whole possession and was standing there among the crowd, where one of the kind person in the crowd gave him a bowl full of rice, uncooked rice. This guy, even though he got his wooden bowl filled, still was not happy enough because his own motive was to get a precious thing from the king. So, with all those things in his mind, he pushed forward the crowd and he almost went to the front seat, or should I say the front row, where he can see the king even more visibly and he can shout and get whatever he wants from the king. Okay, basically, he wants to get money or something precious out of the king. Okay, so with that, he just like pushed all the peoples around, went there and stood in front line, and all the guards were like pushing the people out, like trying to control the crowd and all those drama stuff. And when the king was about to pass the beggar shouted, my bowl. And he was showing his wooden bowl to the king, who was sitting on top of the elephant. Tiger? Elephant. And you know what? He got the attention of the king, and the king saw him. And in midst of having his bowl filled with rice, still he was asking, my bowl, like fill my bowl. So with that, the king stopped there for a while, looked at the beggar straight in his eyes, and said, give me something. I know. We are puzzled at this moment, and so was the beggar. He was like, I am a beggar and you are a king, and you are asking me to give you something, which was absurd, if I have to say it in the right word. But as the king was still looking straight in his eyes, the beggar, with lots of trouble and thoughts, with a frown on his face, gave him a single grain of rice. A beggar giving a single grain of rice out of his completely filled wooden bowl to the king who rules the place. And specifically the front, don't forget that. He was not happy giving that single grain. And you know what was even more surprising for me as I read the story was the king took it happily. Like, he didn't say anything and he took it happily with a smile, and he threw something on his bowl and left forward. Like, he has to go, he has a long way around the village, right? So with that, he just threw something on the wooden bowl and went forward. This guy, he was expecting something big, and out of which came nothing for him because the king asked him in return to give something. So, little bit disappointed, this beggar came out of the crowd, went below a tree and sat there and looked at his wooden bowl. To his surprise, he saw something shining among the rice grain. And when he digged inside the heap of rice, he figured out a golden grain, like a piece of gold the size of a rice grain. You get me? Yes. So, with that situation right there in front of him, he realized what actually happened. What if he had given his whole bowl to the king? He would have got gold filling the whole wooden bowl. With the desperation, he gave out a cry and he looked forward to the king. But by now, the elephant has passed. I mean, the king has passed away and he was like going to his own possession or the pride. So with the story, all I want to say is like most probably the content of the story is kind of clear for you right now, but what I want to say is when you're helping someone, don't think it as a burden, whereas think it as a joy of giving, because nothing can compromise joy of giving no matter what you do. And when that giving is out of your whole heart and without getting any return, here the beggar gave the single grain of rice with frustration, with frowning. He was not at all happy about giving that single grain to the king. The king. But still, when he got that one piece of gold, all that was left for him was regret. So, with this, I want to conclude the story by saying that the joy of giving is immeasurable. So, give. There's nothing wrong in giving. And give it with your whole heart. Plus, give without expecting anything in return. Okay? As I have already mentioned in one of my previous videos, like very, very previous videos, there one of my friend and I had a conversation and she was like, give love and walk away. So that's just the motto of life. Just no matter where you are, no matter where you're present at, or no matter whatever situation you are in, if that's something you can give for others, it could be anything. Sometimes it could be a small smile that you give for others, which will in turn light up their day as well as yours. Though we are not expecting that to happen, but still, giving things out without any expectation does wonders. So with that, I'll conclude this video right now and here. I hope you all have a great day or great week ahead. And yeah, here's a reminder. You're beautiful, you're awesome, and you're made with a purpose. Until we see you all in the next video, this is Sweety signing off. Bye bye.